All right. Well, this time we have a special treat, I guess. Rick, why don't you give us the recap?
All right. Last week, our magnificent bastards had just concluded their hunt against a menagerie of Japanese ghosts haunting a parlor game. Nathan was in the hospital. Nora and Cecil were off working on other projects. Victor was surveying the damage and the art antiquities and, more importantly, stolen books from the theft on his manor. Victor called Inspector Destoun, his police contact, and arranged for a more confidential investigation, assuring him that no supernatural influence was at play and that the MI5 investigation would soon be over. Victor received, around that time, an invitation to an Abbey dinner party. Rick, meanwhile, taking care of Chloe and bothering the hospital staff to make sure that Nathan was getting nothing but the best of care, continued his investigation into the mystery of the Ashwood Abbey's Black Royale, but was not able to quite make the next breakthrough as Chloe continued to pester him in Nathan's absence. Her curiosity consistently unabated. He tried to convince her to put her curiosity aside and keep her nose out of the Abbey business, reassuring her that we indeed protect people. Rick also received a letter for the Abbey dinner party. Vanessa decides to check out an address that was given to her in an attempt to jog her fragmented memory. The address led to an unassuming and apparently unoccupied apartment, which she promptly invited herself into to take a look around. The rooms appeared familiar and triggered a frustratingly vague memory of several individuals, which she followed through to find a wall that she distinctly recalled smashing had been repaired and then promptly smashed again. The act revealed hidden rooms, but the discovery is interrupted by a call from Vanessa's gym about a letter dropped off for her. After the call, she continues to explore the passages, more memories surface, and several individuals searching for signs of the supernatural and something about Network Zero. But the trail of memories was interrupted as the tenants of the apartment she was in returned. She dove out through a window, cutting herself in the process, caring very little, and escaped to make her way to the gym to retrieve the letter, an invitation to an Abbey dinner party. Meanwhile, Chloe got her hands on Nathan's invitation to the dinner party. The dinner party began. Rick encounters the drunken rival of the group that the dinner party was for, the same ones that had sent the message before and were there to serve Wendigo. They shared some barbed words. The whiskey wielding wanker nearly stumbled into Victor, but Victor dodged, sending the drunkard falling to the floor. The man threatened Victor something about the French Revolution, and meanwhile, Chloe tried to sneak in, but is stopped by security, who detained her with zip ties. Rick threatens to shoot the security guard if he puts his hands on her again. Later, Victor, Rick, and Vanessa plan to humiliate their new rival. Vanessa challenged him to a drinking contest. Victor went about digging up dirt and gathering an audience to make sure that the humiliation was maximized, and Rick went about convincing servers to spike his drinks to ensure the finality of the humiliation. As Vanessa walks away, we cut to a flashback, revealing that Rick, in fact, sold out Victor, tipping off the thieves to the Delacroix Manor with a dossier to settle his debts with his contacts that he incurred when Victor helped the werebear escape. Back in the present, the cell's plans for humiliating their newfound rival ran into motion. We discovered that the rival's name was Jasper Sharp, a member of the Libertines faction, and was personally sponsored by the head of the Abbey, one Maximilian Strauss. Jasper proves to be a difficult opponent as he matches with Vanessa drink for drink, though already starting behind and with a spiked drink, as they throw about round after round of absinthe. Meanwhile, Victor met with Strauss to discover that, or at least we believe, that he is not in quite as control as we are led to believe of the Clubhouse, or as some other calls for extreme worry and stress. And as Victor is making headway for Strauss, the conversation is interrupted as Chloe once again, this time successfully, gets into the Abbey, at which point the large guard body checked and tackled her to the ground. True to his word, Rick put a bullet into the man's head and killed him in front of everyone. Strauss then summons the cell to discuss the ramifications of the incident, and much to our surprise, the cell is rewarded, or perhaps punished, with stewardship of the local London clubhouse. Victor seals the deal with some smooth talking to continue to earn the trust of Strauss and put him off from those he had sponsored. And at the end of it, Rick declines to eat the morsel of Wendigo on his plate, but Vanessa and Victor decide to partake in the devouring of the cannibalistic creature spawned from cannibals. And now we find out what's next for the Magnificent Bastards.
So, we're gonna kind of jump forward here. Everybody has gotten a phone call from the hospital. What was it? St.
Thomas, I believe?
Yeah, I was like, it's St. somebody.
Yeah.
St. Thomas's Hospital letting you all know that Nathan is finally awake. Most of you are at least probably mentioned somewhere as emergency contacts. If you can't get a hold of this person, get a hold of this one, so on and so forth down the list.
We're all very busy people. You might have to
low on that list.
Yeah, Vanessa's pretty low on that one.
That being said,
You
Vanessa...
must be truly desperate if you've come to me. Well,
That being said, however, we're going to join up with everybody once they have arrived in Nathan's room. Nathan, you are very aware Chloe is sitting as far away as she can from absolutely everybody else and is specifically refusing to make eye contact or even look towards Rick.
Who comes in with like one of the really nice like glass bottled Cokes, like the imported ones with real cane sugar, and sets it in a bottle cap opener just kind of down on the thing next to her, doesn't with like a little piece of cake, and then doesn't say anything and just goes and sits down in another chair.
Rick trying to bribe her with murder cake.
That's what you do with kids, right? You
Yes.
give them stuff.
it helps the murder go down, right?
You always remember the first meal you eat afterwards, right?
It's true. Oh man, good to see you awake, Nathan.
Oh, well, I guess I'm awake. I don't quite feel awake. They got some stuff pumping through me that I can't even pronounce.
Even if you were sober.
Yes.
Yeah, we've flown in a few doctors to try to help speed things up.
Right. Well, I have a very important question for whoever has been visiting me the most.
Yes.
Probably you, Rick.
Vanessa.
First time I've been here.
Was my nurse hot?
One of them was.
You'll have to let
But
me know.
unfortunately for you, it was the one that changed your bedpans.
Damn it.
So I wouldn't look too forward to that one. We've made some progress on some stuff. I think Victor's caught up with something with the Quinn situation, but he's gonna kind of look at Chloe and say, "Your daughter's been curious."
Yeah, I've noticed a bit of a change of demeanor. I mean,
She shifts uncomfortably in her seat. Anybody want to roll empathy here?
do I need to roll?
That's a
Yes.
side for me.
This will be wits empathy.
Nope.
No, I don't know that Rick needs to. I think he kind of knows what's going on.
I got no empathy. So it's just gonna be wits. Oh, actually, it would be -1.
Yeah, wits -1. That's what mine would be.
Willpower.
Willpower exists. If that's something you desperately want to know.
Apparently,
Has it been?
even with the wound penalty. I'm still wounded. That's.
How many days?
You would have had a chance die if you didn't spend willpower.
It's
bolt
been a
thing?
couple of weeks, so
Okay.
you would have healed some. You probably
Right.
wouldn't have. Did you have any ag? If I recall
I had
correctly,
3 ag. Yes.
you wouldn't have any more ag.
Okay, so those heal first. That would. Does that move lethal all over, or does it downgrade?
Believe that downgrades.
Okay. So I would still be full of lethal.
Yeah, you're still in quite a bit of pain, but you're certainly on the road to recovery.
Yeah, I would still have the wound penalty.
Yeah.
I'm too woozy to really notice.
Cecil notices. It's almost like she wants to speak, but the look on her face is kind of like, well, it wouldn't do me any good to speak here. Like, I have nothing that is going to be said that's in my favor, even if I do speak. So I'm going to keep quiet. Is essentially the look you get on her face.
She got curious and got your letter to the Wendigo dinner.
I feel like
And
we skipped a
decided-
step
Good as
there.
it sounds.
And decided to attend.
Yeah. She did. Not as big a deal. Can't really blame her.
Not as big a deal.
Well, we mostly kept her out of it. She didn't eat any Wendigo, so that's good.
Well,
One of the guards decided that the best way to keep her out was physical violence.
well, they are kind of headstrong, entitled.
Not anymore, he's not.
Okay. Oh, not so headstrong now.
No. I gave him a warning the first time he put his hands on her.
Not gonna wake up from that hangover.
No. And, like, Rick's trying to sound like, for Chloe's sake, like it was a big deal and not seem casual about it. But for Rick, it's like, and the more I've thought about it, like, when he approached the guy outside while he was zip tying Chloe's hands behind her back, and that was for Chloe, but I think the time, I think when he put a bullet in him, I think that was for Rick. Like, I think that was an excuse to make a statement at the clubhouse more than it was to protect her, because that wasn't a necessary thing to protect her. I think it was an excuse, but he's not trying to sound. He doesn't want to scare Chloe with the conversation if he can avoid it.
So, with that being said, and the way it's phrased, you're trying to cover up your nonchalantness, essentially.
Yeah, I'm trying to not be. I'm not trying to not sound. Yes.
Anybody
Oh.
want to give an empathy roll here?
Would that be expression?
Oh! I
Oh.
got this.
Right. Nice.
I'm not gonna make Rick roll in this case.
Ah,
Not to let you down, but I'm gonna voluntarily fail this because I currently have the stoic condition.
Oh yeah!
All right. Nathan, are you gonna roll?
oh, that's right. I forgot to roll. Empathy, you said?
Yes. Same roll
Okay.
as last
Same
time.
roll.
Chance die if
I mean,
you don't
it's-
spend
it's gonna
willpower.
be chance. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend willpower. I realize that would probably be a waste. Even though, what am I gonna use willpower for anyway? Whatever. Chance die. Here we go. No.
All right.
Those drugs will want something funny through you.
Yeah.
Vanessa and Cecil. Rick honestly couldn't care less that he did this.
Yeah, that sounds like the Rick I know.
Rick
That's a little not
doesn't
surprised.
like that he upset Chloe, but he doesn't give a damn that he killed the guy. He does care that he upset Chloe. He doesn't want Chloe to be upset, which is why he's masking it. It's for her sake, but he doesn't care about the guy.
Yeah, what would I expect from a guy that hit me with a car?
Like, you headbutt vampires. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, so
And MI5 agents, for that matter.
okay, so let me get this straight. Chloe, my sweet baby girl, innocent as ever, broke in to one of our meetups. So you shot a guy in front of her.
No.
No, she failed to break in, got her hands zip tied behind her. I cut her loose and put her on the helicopter and told him to never put his hands on her again because she's the daughter of an Abbey member and my niece, and that wasn't tolerated. She's 13. He doesn't need to zip tie and manhandle a 13-year-old girl. Then she charged past him trying to get in, and he body checked her across a room into a table, and then I shot him.
I don't have nearly enough drugs in me right now to deal with this.
I look at like one of the nurses and it's like, can we do something about that?
Wait, there's a nurse in this room? Wait, this changes the entire context of this.
Oh, is there?
No, I'm gonna buzz. I'm gonna hit like the nurse call buzz button. Like when he says I don't have enough drugs, Rick just kind of reaches over and hits the little buzz button.
Yeah.
Eventually a voice comes on. Yes, how can I assist you?
Yeah, Nathan's talking about being in a lot of pain now that he's awake. I don't know. I think he might need a little bit more help with that.
All right, we'll send somebody down to increase the morphine drip.
That's the good stuff.
I'll just give you a thumbs up.
We got you covered.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
So helpful.
I'm here for you.
Okay. Chloe, sweetie.
She still is very much looking at her lap, but kind of nods her head to let you know that she's heard you and she's acknowledging you. She's not ignoring you.
That's close enough for now. You and I are going to have a talk later.
She nods.
Probably lengthy. But for now, I want you to go home and do your homework.
She nods and kind of shuffles out of the room, giving Rick an exceedingly wide breadth.
I have had a therapist meeting with her for the last couple weeks. I don't know if she's talked to them, but I've made the opportunity.
Okay. Well, I'm a little disappointed that it came to this. But at the same time, why did you start this conversation with her here in this room? She doesn't know what the hell a Wendigo is. She didn't know what you were eating in there.
She nearly got eaten alive by a vampire like a month ago. She's aware that what we're into is not normal, and that is very likely why the newfound level of obsessed curiosity is present.
And I have been doing my damnedest to keep her out of it.
Look, I don't
She doesn't like that.
I don't know where your letter got delivered. I'm assuming here. She showed up with your invitation letter and tried to use it to talk her way in.
I am both disappointed and proud in that girl.
Yeah, it was honestly, it was very impressive. I'm not gonna lie. When he started zip tying her, the reason I knew is because she started screaming pervert, pervert, pervert. It was great, really. It really was. But when you tell a guy at the Abbey if you touch her again, I will have to put a bullet in you. And he flips you the bird and then body checks somebody in front of the club.
Look,
It's not a place where you can call bluffs and get away with it for long.
look, I would be lying if I said I would do things differently in your shoes.
I'm pretty sure your gun would have been louder.
Actually, and I do have a question. Nathan, would you have turned on the TV?
It would probably just be on.
Volume off, screen on.
Everybody give me a perception check.
Can you do that again?
Wits, composure. I can't hear nothing.
I do.
So everybody but Nathan.
You can't notice anything, and it's totally understandable.
The amount of morphine you have right now. So, everybody kind of notices the TV. It's one of those news pieces. Serious news, intrigue, mystery. The little caption at the bottom says, after a disturbing break-in, family finds out that wall led to secret compartments inside their apartment.
I don't think that means anything to us, does it?
It means something to one of you.
Yeah.
Maybe like Vanessa's just like watching the TV a bit more than the others. A little distracted.
That's a weird story.
And the subtitles are just basically talking about how the couple came home. They turned to see that that their door had been busted in. They go in and then they see a gigantic hole in their wall.
That's bullshit. I didn't break the door down.
It happens all the time. Like, you do renovations on renovations and then you bust and you find a thing. It's weird that somebody broke in and did it, though. That's kind of odd.
Did Vanessa say that out loud?
Yeah, I say that. Like, I didn't break in. I had the goddamn keys to that place.
Wait, what?
Like, oh, you guys don't know about that. Sorry, never mind.
Well, now we do.
Actually, what did you do?
Checking the place out. Chasing leads. Yeah, and she like looks back at the TV and it's like,
So
many rooms.
you broke in and smashed holes in walls?
I had a good feeling.
What does a bad feeling look like with you?
Usually someone ending up in the hospital.
But
Actually, very much like this room.
Okay, you know what? Did you find any leads?
Nah, the rooms are empty. I think Network Zero had something to do with it.
Secret behind the wall rooms were empty.
Yeah.
What, Network Zero? Do I know Network Zero?
Give me an intelligence plus a cult.
Hey, I put a dot in that, so I don't have -3 anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, I went from 1 die to 6 with a
Wait,
single.
don't we start with 1 dot of a cult?
No.
Oh, we don't.
I
I
think
thought we
it's
did. Oh, I am. I can't do nothing. Them drugs, man. Oh wait, I didn't even roll anything. Hold on, let me put it on chance. Nope.
So, Rick and Cecil. You guys, the name isn't super well known to you. You do know that they run a few, almost like, this is honestly something that would be more up Mel's alley. They run a few backroom, deep web websites where they expose the supernatural. However, very much like what you guys know, they seem to be actually with their finger on the pulse. From what you've seen, what Mel's has maybe brought to your attention in the past, when they call something out, about 85% of the time, they are correct.
I'm guessing like the other 15%, they're still like half correct.
Yeah, they seem to have their head on straight. They definitely know you guys aren't alone in the dark, so to speak.
Okay. What do you know about Network Zero, Vanessa?
What do I know about Network Zero?
I'm gonna be honest. From
Nothing.
what I know about them, what I know about
Like
you,
a goddamn thing.
it doesn't feel like a match.
Hmm?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I wasn't paying attention. What were you saying?
Oh, I said from what I know about you and what I know about them, that doesn't feel like a match.
Just a feeling. Like, can't really explain it. They're involved in that somehow. I don't know what it is.
But I thought there was nothing in that house.
There wasn't anything in that house except for the sealed off rooms.
Look, just because Victor's not here doesn't mean somebody else has to start being obscenely vague about everything.
No, this is what I know. Like, I had a funny feeling about this house. I had a funny feeling about that wall. I broke the wall down, checked it out, and for some reason, I think Network Zero is involved with that hidden.
Do you always break into places because you have a funny feeling about them?
Remind me never to give you a funny feeling about anything.
And it's around
What?
this time that the nurse comes in and increases Nathan's morphine drip.
Sweet ambrosia.
Everybody puts on a polite face for the nurse.
Oh, Rick like reaches over, like cuts a little bite, and is like, cake?
She shakes her head no, thank you. And after turning up his drip, she goes, just let me know if you need anything else. You know, it seems like your friends here know how to reach me, so. And she kind of nods and makes her way back out of the room.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Wait. You said you were chasing down a lead, and then you said you broke into the place because you had a funny feeling. Were you chasing down a lead, or did you have a funny feeling?
I had a funny feeling.
Was the funny feeling the lead you were chasing?
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. How did you get out of there without them seeing you?
I broke through the wall.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And Rick kind of like looks down to.
How do you reckon I got this? And I like lift up like my shirt and I'm like reveal like a bandage, pretty like nasty like cut on her arm.
Was the wall like? Was it a barbed wire wall? How did you cut yourself?
How is it made of stuff? Nail maybe? I wasn't thinking too much about the wall.
It's about at this point that the news report shows the very clearly busted window with the steel wiring through it.
Yeah.
The window.
If there was a window, why didn't you just use that instead of busting a hole in a wall to get into the secret room? Why didn't you just go around and use the window to start with?
I didn't know the secret room was there till I saw the wall.
Thank
Didn't
you.
seem right.
If there's a secret room with windows, how do you not notice there's a secret room with a window that leads nowhere? What? How do you not know there's a secret room with a bunch of windows around it?
Didn't think about that till I was in the house. I wasn't trying to figure out if there was a secret room in the house.
No. I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about everyone else.
I'm assuming like the tenants just thought it was like a duplex or something, and the other half just wasn't occupied until they got in and realized there were no doors or something. I don't know. Rig just looks at Vanessa suspiciously.
You'd think the landlord would notice that.
Well,
Is the no wait, we don't know that.
you don't know that. Well, I do own the building, so
That's your building?
it's one of them.
Then why did you break in?
She did say she had a key.
Yeah, I used the key. I don't know where this broken door came from.
Oh. All you
Did
had
they
to do
actually
was go-
show like the broken door in the front of the house?
No, they didn't show it.
Are you
Hold on.
in a maintenance uniform with like a company badge?
What? You broke into a place and broke down a wall and jumped out a window, and somebody else came after you and broke down the door?
I mean, I didn't break the door.
What? Did they break the door looking for more insurance?
I think
money?
it might just be news reporters trying to,
Oh, that's.
dramatize stuff. Like, you can't trust what these guys say. Like,
Were you high?
not this time.
Well,
Maybe
that
a little.
explains it.
Okay, do I believe her? Okay, so you had a funny feeling about a building you own, so you let yourself in, busted down a wall, found an empty room, jumped through a window, ran away, and out of all that, you come up with Network Zero.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
like I said, funny feeling.
Rick looks to Cecil and is like, "Is this me or is this her?"
We could try to read Vanessa, see if she's like lying to you or something.
Stranger things.
Maybe an
have happened.
empathy roll that could fail for a condition.
Would it be like?
Who wants to
composer's-
roll empathy?
Let him go for it.
What is that? Wits and empathy?
Yes.
Yeah, I will drop my stoic condition and choose to fail in this and let I think either it's an automatic success on the empathy or an automatic fail on the subterfuge.
So, with that, you guys are able to tell Vanessa is telling the truth.
I feel like I'm holding a little bit back.
Yes, I was
It's a
getting.
bit vague. Yeah,
I was
a bit
getting to
vague when I
that.
say funny feeling. Ego.
While she is being while she is being honest, there does seem to be something omitted.
Okay.
And now Rick and Cecil are staring directly at Vanessa while Nathan is exceedingly high right now.
Rick's gonna just like take the rest of the cake and the fork and set it on Nathan's chest so he can eat some cake.
Cake. Yeah.
Morphine's a hell of a drink.
So far be it from me to, say that somebody's not allowed to have private time. But is there, like, I would hope you trust us, right? And like we can
Yeah.
help if something's going on.
Yeah, I trust you guys to an extent.
That's fair.
Rick did just put a bullet in somebody's head.
I mean,
But I've bailed everyone here out of stuff, so yeah.
And you've hit people with cars before, so
Could keep bringing that up.
I will always bring that up.
I'm pretty sure you hurt my car more than I hurt you. This is why Cecil drives. Okay. So I'm gonna put a pin in that because I don't know what else to ask.
Yeah, I'm in a rut there too. I don't know where to go after that. I guess I'll have to wait for another.
yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
figure out where to go when your only lead is a funny feeling.
in an empty room. Okay. Could you get us back into that room? Like, without attracting news and attention? Like, there's been a break-in, there's a hole in the wall, you own the building, we can come in, do an inspection, repair the wall. Like, what I would like to do is come in and sweep those rooms for, like, bugs and other electronics. If it was Network Zero, maybe something got left behind. Maybe Maybe there's come in with some metal detectors, things like that. Maybe there's a hard drive dropped in a wall somewhere that was hidden or whatever that we can find, that we can pull out.
Maybe. Vanessa never really considered that as an option, the legitimate route of using her company to like end her like privilege of owning the property to actually enter it. Yeah. How can I go about that? Is that an option available?
It most certainly is.
You own the place. Come on, you had the key.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Rick is instantly like privilege, leverage, lever.
Especially
Like
since
Vanessa's like she's like a hammer. She like sees everything's a nail to her.
realistically the landlord would have to go inspect the damage and see how much it's going to cost them to repair.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make a few calls, see what I can do.
Yeah, I'll grab my metal detector and bug sweeper and stuff. We'll go sweep those back rooms, see if we can find anything that was stashed and hidden that maybe got left behind and wasn't able to be retrieved. They like their electronics, so if we can find a piece of something, if there's anybody you know that can get something out of it, it'd probably be me.
Right. Yeah. So I'll probably like step out like out of the room for like a bit, like make a call to like board or like whatever, and
The
like
building
they like
manager?
tell them, yeah, like I'm like I saw this on the news. I got a guy that's like really into this kind of crap. Like he'll do the inspection for us, and I tried to just organize getting Rick in there.
Realistically, it's not going to take much. You sign their paychecks essentially, so if you take a special interest in it, well, that's what Vanessa wants.
Private company.
We'll want to move fast. If someone on Network Zero who's familiar with that building and room sees this, and there is something there, they may try to move in and recover it. So we'll want to move quickly if we can. While she's handling that, Cecil, have you been able to dig anything else up off the list? I don't have any new. Do you have any new leads? I don't know. I've been busy, and I point at Nathan over there, who's like staring at a piece of cake, just like looking at it. I've been busy.
Realistically, Cecil's been somewhat busy as well, helping Nora prep. But if you want to have had some off time to research, that is certainly something I could give you. I would just need a intelligence investigation, intelligence occult. One of those two are probably most appropriate here.
Well, he wouldn't have spent the time researching. He would have spent the time somewhere hidden in the city that nobody's been to in years. Some abandoned building somewhere.
Urbex, right?
Yeah.
Urban exploring? Yeah.
All right, well, I still feel like that would be an intelligence investigation to...
You know,
Because otherwise
that
I'm
actually-
asking for like a fortune roll here.
yeah, well, so, you know, it's funny because, like, he, this is how I built him. He has an investigation specialty in cold scenes, specifically because when he goes to abandoned places, he likes to look at how things are laid out and figure out why it is the way it is, so it's just something that he does in his own mind, so, all right.
Since he's doing this via like urban exploration, climbing and all, could he do like a dexterity investigation because of the way he's going about like this with the parkouring and the roof-topping and the climbing and all that, and then pair that with his cold scene investigation?
That is, once again, that's a cross-disciplinary specialty type situation that you're doing there. It's one of those things, it doesn't quite work because his parkouring gets him there. However, it's Cecil's mind that puts the stuff together once he's there.
He's not doing flips over desks. Oh, this desk is mahogany.
I can tell by the strength of the wood.
Well, I was thinking more like the dexterity part of that is what gets him into the place, and the investigation part is what tells him if it's a place worth being in. So pair the two together is kind of where I was thinking.
Right.
With one success. Okay. There's been several interesting places that you've been. However, most of those abandoned warehouses, abandoned locations have been abandoned. There hasn't been anything in there, so that kind of marks them off the list for any sort of lair, so to speak. However, one thing does come to mind. It was a warehouse. You had the pleasure of going through what was the floor, or the foreman's office, so kind of like the lead guy. And he had a bunch of ledgers. Or all of these papers were very, very brittle and delicate. They were shipping some very interesting items. Mostly of... Well, from what you could tell, most of them were coming from the Middle East, Egypt, that region. Of course, these ledgers are several decades old. However, most of them were delivered to a PC. It's the only thing that's written where it says, you know, recipient, delivery, delivered to, however it's phrased. And most of these artifacts there's obviously like a small description, a statue of Bastet, a statue of this. And there's little marginal references. One of them, one of the big items, it was a statue of quote-unquote unknown deity. It states the archaeologists were exceedingly excited about this one because it was found in a location that was not known to be inhabited. Archaeologists stated predates dynastic period of Egypt? Question mark? Make sure extra precaution is taken.
I wonder what that could be.
Forgotten gods are bad news. And if somebody's got one of its icons, well, I hope it's not someone like Victor who might find a way to use it.
You'd be surprised how easy those manors are to break into. They don't put a lot of stock in modern day security. I assume Cecil relays some of this?
Yeah, it would have been more clipped than that. It would have been, I found old shipping ledgers in a abandoned warehouse, and a statue of an unknown deity was delivered to someone local with the initials PC.
could be something.
It's about around this time that Vanessa would probably venture back in. It was a pretty quick phone call.
All right, Rick. I got you in. You're gonna be the representative for the company to like check on the repairs and quote like the damage and whatnot. So you have free reign of the place. They're not gonna ask really any questions. Hopefully.
If you put on a uniform with a badge and act like you know what you're doing, pretty much anybody will let you do anything you want.
Don't forget the clipboard.
Give me a clipboard. One time, I walked into, when I was like doing tech jobs right after I got out of the army, I walked into, and then Rick goes on to like tell like this tangent of a story about like walking into a wrong building and like logging into servers and people opening doors and unlocking keys, and he was there for like an hour and a half and logged into a bunch of stuff, and people gave him passwords, and then he realized he was in the wrong building and had to like go next door and then start all over again. It's like
Oh, and if you could actually do like an assessment for the damages, that'd be pretty cool. That'd save me an awkward conversation.
How?
Just write
Sure.
whatever number you want to write there, and it's fine.
I'll send you an invoice. You know, I got a specialty in gadget crafting. Maybe I know what sheetrock costs. I don't know.
Just write a number, and yeah,
Yeah, sure. Yeah, be fine.
I'll cover it.
We'll make it look legit-ish.
I don't want my residents asking like, "Hey, like, why is there another guy doing this quote?" If like, look, who was the first guy?
He sucked. We fired him. We got a new one. Also, you always get 3 quotes. You got punched a lot, didn't you? Like, you've been punched a lot in your life?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. It's okay.
but what's that got to do with anything?
Like, Rick reaches over to like the cake where like Nathan is still staring at that one same bite, picks the plate up out from under it where he's still got like just the fork, and like hands it to Vanessa and is like, "You want some cake?"
Ooh. I'll
Nathan,
take cake.
Nathan grabs his arm. My fork only has 3 tines.
That's a chork.
And on
Hey,
that joke, I
Good.
feel
Hey,
like we need to move on here.
How do you know Vanessa only has 1 intelligence?
So,
educated guess.
Rick, when do you go to check out or do the assessment?
I mean, what time is it when we're here in the hospital? Is it like morning or midday or evening?
Morning.
Morning. I'll go by like the flat and pick up like some of my gear, and like metal detector, bug sweeper, that sort of stuff, camera, grab like you know, maybe run by the hardware store and grab like a drywall knife and a small hammer and stuff. Throw it all in kind of a bag and like a digital camera, and throw on a jumpsuit and head out there.
All right. While Rick is off doing all of this, Nathan, you're going to be recovering from morphine, so we can skip you.
Ah.
Cecil and Vanessa, what are you guys going to be doing while Rick does this?
Might just try to do some like research on the house, like dig through like whatever records the company has on like the property. Try to figure out like what I can about it from here. Like I've like looked inside and I just like have the feeling Network Zero. Hey, I might just do a Google search of Network Zero.
Excellent. Cecil?
If he's not needed for anything, he's just gonna go somewhere.
That's descriptive.
I mean, literally, like, heads out the door and, like, sets off at a jog, and then when there's, like, an alley somewhere, he's gonna start up the side of the building, or, you know, like, he's just going somewhere random. Like, he's not feeling up to working today, shall we say.
You're muted.
You're muted.
James, you're muted.
I said, like, the Konami code are your directions for your jog.
So, with that, Vanessa, if you would give me a roll for investigation.
Feel it'd be intelligence.
And you don't like that.
I'm trying to figure out what skill it would be.
Well, there's investigation.
Or computer, if you're really hitting the computer hard. And
They're the same roll, so this is roll. Like, I guess I'm like, go intelligence academics or whatever. It's the same thing. Measly chance die.
Oh,
She punches good, though.
Yeah, he gets it. She uses this computer stuff for Rick, like I imagine like her evening is like a lot of Network Zero, what is, and just like a lot of like, pretty much the same question, just phrased differently on Google and not getting anywhere.
all right. So, let's focus on Rick as, please tell me you're not arriving in your helicopter first off.
No, this is a social engineering job. Honestly, I'll probably go, like take like the bike to like my storage facility where I keep like the old like Ford diesel pickup, and get in that so I look like an actual like blue collar worker.
All right. So you pull up in your very large truck.
Yeah.
You are immediately let in. You know, obviously there's police, but they knew you were coming. They knew that this was gonna have to get done. So obviously, you do have a police, not escort, but you know, police are definitely around. They're scoping out the room. They give you the general spiel. You know, be careful what you touch. You know, if you see anything suspicious, let us know. You know, this place does look like it's mostly abandoned except for the footsteps. But
Perfect.
You're kind of left alone.
Cool. So I'll break out and I'll set up like a like a IR like one of those like little X-ray devices like they used to look for bodies in the walls and stuff, you know. I'll set up one of those and kind of scan the walls. I'll do a bug detector. I'll do a metal detector. See if I can find anything that looks like bags in the walls. Maybe like a hard drive that had been like wrapped in put in a Ziploc bag and like dropped and patched in for like a stash ceiling, and just do a sweep of anything that maybe shouldn't be there, and see if I can pinpoint a spot.
All right, go ahead and give me a perception roll here.
So that's wits and composure.
Yes.
I'm gonna spend a willpower on this. I feel like it's important. So,
Alrighty then. Please take the inspired condition perception. So, well, besides seeing absolutely everything.
I did bring all the right gear.
Yeah. You notice a lot of the same stuff that I had touched on when Vanessa went in there. However, you don't necessarily have the lovely context of faulty memory to help you fill in those gaps. You're not able to find any bugs or any patchworks outside of the one that obviously was done to cover this room. You are able to find a loose floorboard that leads... that it seems to have been... I don't want to say it's a loose floorboard. That's bad terminology. It's not even really patchwork. It's where floorboards have been placed over what looks to be a crawl space.
Okay, so it's where like
Essentially, you're where the... I keep wanting to call it a trap door, but that's not what it is. But it's essentially where the door was to lead down into the crawl space. The floors have very deliberately been put over it.
the door was removed and replaced. Like what used to be a trap door was removed and replaced with flooring to completely seal it off.
Yes.
Essentially. Okay.
However, you do get a couple of pings from your metal detector that you're pretty confident are not nails in the floor. So that does give you the idea there could be something in the crawl space.
Okay. But there's police here right now.
Yes, they're not in this section of the house, apartment, whatever you want to call it at this point.
Okay.
They are mostly on the other end. They've kind of already covered this area to their satisfaction. So they're not really paying that much attention to it.
Okay. And I assume the tenants probably aren't here at all. They're probably like put up in a hotel for a week or something like that.
That would be up to Vanessa. Would Vanessa's company do that?
I have no idea what my company does.
Renter's insurance, probably.
You assume that Vanessa has as much of a hand to do with it, with the company at all. She just lets it do its own thing, and it works.
I'm just saying, if I try to like, are these like wooden floors, or is this like tiled floor, or like linoleum?
Wood.
Like wood. Okay. So it's gonna be hard to dismantle this section without being noisy. Is the problem? Okay.
Our flooring guy is nodding his head, so...
Yeah, that's what I do for a living.
Yeah,
He will not be quiet.
Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, I think what Rick's gonna do is basically like break out, like he's got like an old laptop. And he's gonna break it out and like open up like a random spreadsheet and like where he's like downloaded like an old like crappy like Google free invoice thing, and like get his camera and like sit down on the floor and act like a guy who doesn't know what he's doing with computers and start working on like, okay, I'm gonna take a picture. And then I'm gonna connect it and upload the picture and do the work for that picture and get the line item. And I'm gonna take a very long time and wait for basically everyone else to clear out and be like, no, this always takes me the whole day. Anytime I have to do something like this, it's a whole thing, takes me all day. I'll be out of your way. I'll be out of your way until you leave. But I got the keys. I can lock up and wait until everybody leaves.
After calling the company to make sure you're actually associated with the company to an extent,
Fair.
they do eventually end up leaving you alone in the place. However, that does take a good portion of the day. So, with that, Cecil, you've probably been out about an hour. Hour, maybe two. Kind of just meandering your way about.
Possibly gargoyling on some rooftop somewhere.
Brooding. Roll me a perception check.
He's good at that.
Excellent. 3 successes. So, for funsies here, as you're, quote, unquote, gargoyling, as you so put it,
I am the knight.
You notice notice two faces you somewhat recognize. This building's not all that tall, so you can make out, somewhat of faces, especially if you know them already. One of them you know very well. Miss Douglas. The other one you do know. You don't know it quite as well. You only met them one time and they took you out to tea. And you know Miss Douglas well enough to know when she's found a mark. The way she's tailing Mr. Quinn.
Okay. Well, Cecil's definitely going to cease his gargoyling and start to follow along the rooftops.
Give me a parkour check here.
Parkour!
Before I do that, remind me who Miss Douglas is? I remember Quinn, obviously, since we had tea, but...
Maya Robin Douglas?
Okay.
He forgot his own touchstone, everybody.
No. I know the touchstone. I think of the touchstone as Maya, not Miss Douglas. But okay.
I didn't. I second guessed myself on the first name, so I just went with Miss Douglas because I knew I was right on that one.
Oh man. Okay. If she's gonna mark him. All right. Parkour. Yep.
All right. Despite obviously taking a roundabout way from rooftop to rooftop, makes it a little bit more difficult to follow, especially if they take a weird path or anything like that. You're able to keep up surprisingly well and not lose them, as one of them, Quinn, is very much just straight. He's going someplace. While Maya is dipping in and out, obviously keeping tabs on him, but doing her best not to be seen. Matter of fact, you're pretty sure that because you had your bird's eye views, the only reason that you saw her. Very much like a corvid on a building.
He, there's this like inner war going on in Cecil right now that he wants to know what's going on, but he also wants to warn her off of interacting with him because he knows that will go badly for her. In fact, Cecil's going to really quickly text her like super brief message and don't grab, keep watch. So like just super quick, let her know like not to go after him, but like continue watching him, and then he's gonna keep following because like he doesn't want her to suffer the wrath of a frickin' supernatural entity. But if this guy is on a mission somewhere, Cecil wants to know about it, and two eyes are better than one.
As you continue to follow them across the rooftops, she makes no indication of ever looking at her phone. After about 2 to 3 minutes, you come to the realization that, realistically, her phone's probably on silent or turned off completely. And it's at this point, I am gonna make a roll for her.
This is why earbuds are important.
Do, 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 do.
Is that Pink Panther?
Almost.
Yeah, no play.
Close. Yeah.
2. Okay. Wits. Plus composure. It's not a bad roll.
No.
And victories go to the defender. She makes her move. She approaches him. She snags what appears to be a wallet and a phone. And your eyes are just sharp enough to see the two things leave his pocket before he whirls on his heel and catches her wrist.
How high up is Cecil on this building?
Realistically, this is like a business section, so you're probably not looking more than second, third floor.
Superhero landing.
Yeah, we.
Down 3 stories the same way you can run up it.
Well, so part of parkour is not taking damage from falling.
Think about rolling, I think.
That up really quick.
Parkour!
He can mitigate fall damage. Okay. He gets an automatic success on the roll to mitigate fall damage, but still has to roll to mitigate the fall damage. Okay. So, we're going to make this a little bit more complicated. Cecil's going to, parkour down the building a bit so that he's not quite so high up, and then leap off of it to try to, land on Quinn to make him unhand Maya. And the intent is to just knock him down so that he can grab Maya and run. He's not intending to make this a combat thing. He wants to climb down, jump, grab, and go. Well.
Okay, so no defense is going to be applied because, flat out, I wouldn't expect somebody to leap down from a building on top of me.
Yeah, people don't look up all that often.
Surprisingly little, yeah.
So, with that stated, this is still going to be a dexterity athletics roll.
Yep. Does the athletic specialization in parkour apply?
Of course.
Fantastic.
I legitimately can't think of a reason why it wouldn't.
And this is kind of important, so we're going to spend a willpower too.
Oh, yay. I get to open a book I've never opened before.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
4 successes. Excellent. Well, you lack of a better term here, you stick the landing.
Death from above.
You go vengeance.
You're able to grab Maya and begin to move. However, I may have just had the worst idea on the face of the planet, or the best idea.
Do it.
Wait, I love it.
Yes.
I originally was going to do this as a specific type of creature. And while I was getting ready to look up that creature, I just had a better idea.
How dare you, sir?
Epiphany!
Can you give me 1 perception check? This will be right as you land on top of him and he hits the ground.
Oh. Okay.
Uh-oh.
You want to make a dramatic failure there? I feel that'd be appropriate.
Dramatic failing of perception, though.
Yeah, right.
You just don't notice harder.
Yeah.
Hey, beats are beats, baby.
Alrighty. I'm
You
trying to.
notice the wrong thing.
No. I think I know what I want to do with this. As you land, you kind of like when you land really hard in a sand pit. You know how sand kind of goes up into the air?
Yeah.
Insects fly up into the air. You don't catch what type of insect as you're booking it. But it was a bunch of insects.
Time to go.
Jeez.
Maya's got this very concerned look on her face. Hi, Cecil, as you're kind of like dragging her.
Time to go.
She's not pulling against you. She's running with you, but she's very like, can you explain? Why are we going so fast? And she is pulling, but not because she wants to pull, just because you're faster. She's struggling to keep up.
That
We
was a bad
probably-
mark.
He looked pretty easy and looked like he had lots of money. Seems pretty easy or pretty good to me.
He's not gonna say anything more until they're like gone. Like we know for a fact that we have completely escaped and we can like duck into a hidey hole somewhere and talk.
As you duck into a hidey hole, it doesn't take that long. You feel, as you kind of pull into this alleyway, you have, she immediately kind of pulls away and starts trying to catch her breath, leaning against, one hand against the wall, kind of bent over, gasping, trying to catch her breath. You wanna explain?
Did you see what happened when I landed on him?
I was kind of distracted by the fact that you came in like frickin' Batman and just landed on somebody.
Well, what I noticed was that when I landed on him, there was a puff of insects. I've talked with that guy before, and
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. One second, Cecil. And she grabs something off your shoulder and she pulls it back and it looks like a locust and she kind of just tosses it.
that one of those. We need to keep going.
She raises an eyebrow.
And he just he grabs her hand and he pulls. We need to keep going. But are there any more on me? Like he's he's gonna check himself and like turn around so she can like inspect.
What you have a fear of insects now? And she's kind of helping.
Tell me if
brush
you
your-
see any.
No, it looks like you're clean. And then
Let's go.
She gets a sly smile as you start to try and pull her again. Unless they're in your clothes.
That's not even what I'm talking about. And like he yanks and like and we're off to the races again because Cecil's first thought was, if it's somebody who's made up of like a swarm of insects, it probably has the perception of all of the members of the swarm, and so if one was stuck on his clothes, he knows where we're at, and so like now we need to freaking go again. So, yeah, she's tired, but we're gonna go find a new place to hide.
So with that, Vanessa, what have you been up to? You haven't had a phone call from Rick in the last couple of hours or anything, so you assume Rick is still on site doing stuff. But it's been a while. Just been chilling at home?
Maybe. Honestly, I can't see what she could do from here. Maybe she gets a little bored and starts heading off to the place to like see what's happening.
By the time you would arrive there, the police have wrapped up their investigation. The only car that still sits out there is an old diesel Ford truck.
Yeah, you've never seen it before.
No. And there's like nobody there.
Yeah, lights off.
Yeah. Actually, no. She's gonna go like around like the back and like check out that window that she smashed through earlier.
That window is, got yellow tape essentially covering it up, but that ain't nothing.
Yeah. But I imagine that's like a more like less people are like watching from the front, right?
Yeah. So you're just gonna climb through there?
I'm gonna like peek my like head in and see if I can see like Rick or anything.
Oh,
When you get around the back, you hear like the smashing of hammer on wood.
Okay. Yeah. So like hearing like the smash, I'm gonna like peek my head in and I guess I see Rick going ham at this these boards in the floor.
Yep. Give me a strength plus athletics, Rick.
Yeah.
This is good hardwood.
I think it'd actually be more of a strength stamina roll than athletics, judging by the strength performance merit.
Merits will get you different dice pools, though.
Yeah.
Strength what?
Athletics.
All right, cool beans.
How hard can you go versus how long can you go?
The wood's going to give up to the sledgehammer eventually, so it may actually be about like how long can you keep going. But strength and athletics, we're gonna spend one more. We're gonna spend another willpower on this because I want through. 2 successes.
About the time you poke your head in, Vanessa, you're greeted to a loud, thunderous crack as Rick's sledgehammer goes clean through the floor into the opening that seems to open down into what looks to be a crawl space from the little bit that you can see.
Okay, so I'll like poke my head in and be like, "How's it going?"
In the split second before he realizes it's Vanessa's voice, like the sledgehammer drops and you see him like reach back and looks up and is like, "Oh." And looks down, is like, "I made a hole in your floor."
I see.
Wanna help me pull some more of these? Because there's a hole in the floor.
All right, and I'll crawl through the
Here, help me
remains of the window.
punch through. Help me pull them up so we can climb down. There's like a. I made a hole in the floor because there's a big hole under the floor. So I want to go in the big hole under the floor.
All right. Yeah. So Vanessa will assist with that.
Strength performance time, what Vanessa's really good at.
Yeah. So 8 dice. Have wrote on this. 4.
Nice.
1, 2,
Can
3,
mine?
4,
Vanessa don't need no help.
7, 8, 9 successes.
Jesus.
what took you maybe an hour or so to do, she's literally just grabbing a board.
Barehanding rips it out.
And not only is she taking out the section that's damaged, but she's almost taking it back to the wall, pulling the carpenter nails out of the joists in the floor as she does so. Just one right after another, just flinging them back behind herself.
Rick grabs like, cause he expected to be here a while, like grabs like a big like mag light flashlight and walks over to the hole and looks down and looks at Vanessa and is like, yeah, it's always easy when somebody else gets it started for you, and then just jumps down into the hole.
As you jump down that hole.
Yeah, grab like my backpack with like my real computer gear on it and grab the flashlight and jump down into it.
As soon as, yeah.
My kneecaps.
Yeah, it's a crawl space, so you're gonna have to get down on hands and knees here.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll grab like a twine and tie around like the backpack and unravel like 8 feet and then crawl down to see where I can find to. And then if I find somewhere, I can just use the twine to drag the backpack behind me. I'm hoping to find like an area into like something more. If not, then I'll look around for where I heard those pings at.
Well, it's a crawl space. It's open. So
Okay.
as you kind of fling your light around, you do notice a couple of things. One, there's a lot, and I mean a lot of manacles down here.
Like handcuffs?
Old school handcuffs.
Like the wide like wristband, like that. Yo, yeah. That's weird.
They're not rusted either.
That's even weirder.
They're not, as you kind of get closer to one, they're not new by any stretch. Definitely been down here maybe a couple of years, but you can tell by the make they're, newer steel. So they've
Old
resisted.
School style, but newly made. Newly made, but old school style.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a mass. It almost looks like a net made of chains with, instead of the weights, it has manacles. Also down here is probably the most oversized stuffed duffel bags you've ever seen. Like, they're bulging. Like, they look like they're about ready to rip at the seams. Most definitely, from your best guess, your metal detector was picking up those manacles. More so than the duffel bags.
I'm just gonna, like, from under the floor here. I think you're gonna have to rent them a new house. And I start backing up and trying to drag one of those duffel bags with me.
Give me a strength check.
Nah, screw that. If it's hard, I'm just gonna leave it there and then get up and be like, that spot, rip that spot up to Vanessa.
Vanessa can follow instructions. Yeah. Lifting?
Lifting.
Hey, I can roll this too. Alright, 8 dice. Okay.
Did she have inspired from her previous 9 successes?
Yes, she would.
Well, it's
Got it
another
again.
exceptional anyway.
Yeah. She gets an exception. Once again, not with quite as much ease, maybe because this part of the floor wasn't already damaged, but still with considerable ease. Just starts yanking up floorboards, and eventually ends up pulling up these duffel bags. Now, Vanessa, when you pull these duffel bags up, one, they're heavy. Even for you. Even you're kind of like, you wouldn't expect a duffel bag to be quite that heavy. And then there's... Roll me... No, you know what? No roll here. That black, inky figure appears beside you, placing said duffel bag down. Oh, dear God, why did we have to pack so much iron? Why? Well, this'll be a good enough staging area. We collected all the iron stuff we could find. We'll lure the thing here, and the iron should, either act as a deterrent, or, worst case scenario, we'll have Vanessa over there use the iron and beat the ever-living crap out of it.
It's like something I'd do.
But with that, the fading memory leaves your head.
Yeah, I'm like, I got a feeling that's full of iron. And I go to unzip the bag.
Basically, every sort of iron implement you might think, mostly, a lot of them are pokers that you would see in a chimney made of wrought iron. But we're talking this bag is filled with probably 50 to 60.
That's a lot.
50 wrought iron pokers. Okay. Yeah.
And I feel like this is a good time to take our first break. So we'll see everybody here in 5 to 10 minutes.
All right.
All right, and we are back, everybody. So, we are going to go right back to Rick and Vanessa.
Vanessa, how'd you know that this bag was full of iron? As he
Feeling.
picks up a fire poker and kind of looks at it.
Feeling. Yeah? Don't get those?
The fuck are you hiding, Vanessa? What's going on here?
I don't know. Like,
You don't-
I
you
honestly
don't-
don't know what's happening here.
You don't pick random buildings, let yourself in, bust holes in walls, find secret rooms with duffel bags under the floorboards that you know the contents of off of a feeling.
Yeah, you get a kind of like weird like vibe from Vanessa, and I kind of wanted to get you to make a roll for me if you could, like maybe like either like maybe persuasion or something to like try to get her to open up, because it's kind of awkward for her. Like she hasn't really come to terms with what she's going through, and
You want me to do? They're all the same, but I guess for the sake of like narrative, manipulation, persuasion.
yeah, maybe that'd probably be the most.
Sounds good.
Do you think social engineering would apply here? Trying to get.
Nah, this is like helping somebody come to terms with their trauma.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see, but it is an asset skill. Persuasion is, so that is 9 again. So that'll be 5 dice and 9 again. You know what? Let's do a willpower.
Wow.
I got 2 more to spend. 2 successes. One of them came with my willpower, so yay.
Yeah, I reckon that's probably enough there. Yeah, so like Vanessa like looks off to the side, lets out a bit of a sigh. It's like, so these feelings, they're not really feelings, I guess. A couple of years ago, something happened, and I don't remember stuff. I don't remember a lot of things. I have a lot of time remembering things, so I don't know why I'm interested in this house. I know something happened here, and I get glimpses of memory here. I've been here before. I don't know what's happened.
He kind of looks at the manacles and looks at the iron and stuff. It's like, this is monster hunting stuff.
I'm pretty sure we were hunting monsters. I think it was a lure.
Okay, a lure and capture, or kill, lure and kill. Because this is not a trap. These are weapons.
I think
who are
it
you-
likes iron or hates it. I don't know.
Who are you with?
I don't know. I remember something about Network Zero, and that's it.
You know, you can only use so much iron. I think there was a couple more duffel bags. Let's pull those up. Let's pull up the manacles. Maybe some of the manacles are inscribed. Maybe there's runic inscription, something like that. Let's pull up the duffel bags. Do a little digging. Maybe in all of this, maybe there's still some sort of electronics I can pull information from, hidden in one of these in one of these bags or around. Let's keep digging up. Got some other ideas.
I'll grab the other duffel bag.
The other 2 duffel bags are still considerably heavy, but as you open them, they do contain things other than iron. So they are a bit lighter, but they're still pretty heavy. There's still probably about 20 in each of these other duffel bags. In one of the duffel bags, you find passports and clipped clipped tickets, essentially. Tickets that have already been used. All of those tickets were for a flight to Ireland and back.
What part of Ireland? Northern Ireland or
No,
Ireland?
Ireland.
Is this going to? Would this be in or around where HQ is?
No, HQ's in Scotland.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
I'm
Okay.
gonna flip through the passports and see if I remember any like faces or names.
Well, the first one, as luck would have it, is an old passport of yours.
Oh.
Different name or same name?
Same name.
What's the expiry date on this thing?
It is expired.
Okay, geez, alright. What's the date of issue?
The date of issue is considerably a long while back.
Okay, so I imagine like this is like a picture of like teenage Vanessa. Maybe like a lot more. If like Rick looks at it, maybe more happy. More happy Vanessa. Maybe like some innocence there.
Not so many
Yeah.
drug-addled eyes.
Yeah, if you ever like looked at like a picture of a drug addict and what they like used to look like, kind of a little bit like that.
Greg like just holds his phone over the photo and takes a picture of the picture. But then he hands it back to her and picks up the next one and starts doing that with all of them. Getting the pictures, the names, those codes along the bottom of like the second page on them, and starts basically pulling all of the information off of them to store the information digitally in case something happens to the physicals, and then the tickets as well. All the destination. Going to start just taking pictures with his phone of all the information that we can get out of this for future research.
All right, and just so you guys have names, I'll give you last names later. I don't want to get into that right at this moment, but I'll give you first names. Zach, Jennifer, Nestor, and Ivan, but pronouncing it weird. Sorry, Ivan. Or the
Zach,
first.
Ivan and what?
Zach, Jennifer, Nestor, Ivan.
Okay.
And then obviously Vanessa.
Who's that? Okay. So yeah, just gonna start going and be like, you know what? Let's just and he's gonna like after taking the pictures of like just the passports before going through any of the paperwork, throw everything back in, zip it up, and be like, let's get everything. Let's get everything. Let's get it all.
All right. Is there anything left? The scroll space.
Like collect all the manacles, shove them in there, like get everything.
Ooh, you're gonna try to lift all those manacles?
No, I'm gonna have Vanessa lift all those manacles.
Vanessa's literally walking out like this.
She can make more than one trip if she needs to.
Yeah, you got a pickup truck.
Yeah, we're gonna throw it all in the back of the pickup truck.
And with that, you're gonna head off to where?
One thing I want to do before I go, just to sate my own curiosity, the portion of the house where the tenants live, I want to go up to like the master bedroom or living room areas, look for photographs, and make sure none of those photographs match the pictures on the passports.
They don't.
Okay. I do want to check and see like if there's like a safe in the closet or like in the master closet if there's a safe there or something like that where like I want to see if there's something that I can pry into to make sure that these people are completely unrelated to what's going on and that these aren't like another set of agents that are basically like sitting on top of this.
They don't have a safe or anything. This is like a middle-class family. That's above their pay grade.
Okay, just making sure they're not a cover story is all. Do we have everything, Vanessa?
I think so. I didn't even know this crawl space was here.
Rick's gonna go find and flip some switches and see if he can find a switch that is attached to a light socket, like where you like plug in a floor lamp into a socket, but then you can turn it with a switch and find something like that.
Is that a thing in Europe?
It's generally like slightly older homes, like 20, 30 years, but it's not that uncommon for plugs to be attached to switches, so you can plug stuff in and then like floor lamps and all, and then control them with a switch.
Sure. Well, why not?
So he's gonna get go into like an office space and get a paper clip and unfold it and fold it into a prong, turn the light switch off, tie a twine to the paper clip, stub it into the light socket, flip the switch on, wait till he sees smoke starting to roll out, and then pull the twine, roll the paper clip out, and walk out.
Okay.
He's short circuiting and starting a fire on the wall. Is what he's doing. Putting a paper clip in the light socket to short circuit it, has a twine, flips the light on, it short circuits, it looks like a short circuit. Once he sees smoke, he can use the twine to pull the paper clip out, wind it up to him, and then walk out with all the evidence.
Oh, you're burning my house down, huh?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Insurance.
Oh.
Yay, insurance fraud.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No. This should, there's too much here. Yeah. This is done. Also, now I don't have to write you an invoice for what the repairs are. It's much easier.
So,
Right.
Also, maybe don't tell Cecil we burned down your house.
Why wouldn't I tell Cecil?
Cecil doesn't like it when people burn down houses of innocent people. Look, it's your house, it's your business.
Yeah.
We burned it down, okay? It's like the third time he said we.
You're like trying to implement me in this, yeah. The goodness, it's got like 100 like this. Like, you're only burning down other people's happy memories.
Yeah. And then I guess, Vanessa opened up to him and stuff. It was like a whole thing. We'll go park the truck. It'll take a little bit for that fire to get rolling, so we'll get the fuck out and go park the truck. And swap into whatever. And I'm gonna take Vanessa to the Deerfoot. I think she would enjoy it there.
Yeah.
For what?
I think it's Touchstone.
My bar.
Oh,
My touchstone.
you were greeted with somebody literally being tossed out, broken nose, looked probably like they probably have a split skull as well. That they just tossed this guy out.
Yeah, Rig just steps over them.
Yeah, like, could be like, what's this place?
Yeah, this is Rick. Knowing a place like this exists, much less coming to a place like this, would probably be way out of bounds for what Vanessa would think about him.
Yeah, I probably think you a bit snooty, rich, and
Yeah.
pampered.
Won't take her into the back room. No business there. But we walk in, and yeah, it's just a dirty, smoky, dingy, just dive-ass biker bar. And we're in the middle of like one of the highest violent crime districts in all of London. And I walk up to the jukebox and like punch some key codes in, and the song stops. And then I punch a couple more key codes in, and then different songs start playing. Standing Outside the Fire, Garth Brooks. We'll go sit down. We won't even talk to anybody. We'll go sit down, and like a minute later, a pint will show up in front of you, and a bottle of whiskey will get set down at the table. I'll pull out like my little cigar thing and clip it and light it and hand it to you. And Vanessa and Rick can we'll just like hang out and shoot the shit and talk.
Well, you guys do that. I believe. Nathan. You come to with Chloe sitting in your room again. It's been a few hours since you've been out. You vaguely remember a piece of cake, but you're not entirely sure where it went. You don't necessarily remember eating it, so you don't entirely know. It could be in the bed, for all you know.
Okay. Do I remember much else?
Up until the nurse came in, you remember a decent amount. Well, after the nurse came in, very, very little.
Okay. Okay. Whew, man, that's some stuff. Oh,
Chloe kind of
Thankful.
stirs a little bit. Oh, you're awake, and she kind of sits up, rubs her eyes. Oh, sorry, I fell asleep too.
oh, okay. Well, how you feeling?
She gives you the most dead fish eye expression that you've never seen her give you that kind of look.
Yeah.
She doesn't even respond. The look on her face tells you she doesn't know how to respond.
Yeah, that bad. I remember first time that happened to me, long time ago.
That happened to you?
Yeah, something similar anyway. It's like I said, it's an old story. Different me. But we're not, well, I guess we're technically here to talk about me, but I want to talk about us. And, well, you and what you've seen and heard. I really wanted to keep you not out of my life, but out of the life that I'm really not good with words.
She kind of shrugs and she goes, well, I'm also not a mind reader. Uncle Rick said that you protect people. And she kind of pauses as she tries to think about how she wants to format what she says next. I understand that he, in his mind, was trying to protect me. I, however, can't compute that to taking... And then she just completely freezes on the next part.
Nathan can guess what the next part was. Yeah, your Uncle Rick and I, we go way back, and I trust the guy. I trust him with my life. I trust him with your life. That's why I asked him to take care of you while I've been here, out of commission, as it were. I guess I just didn't anticipate that kind of situation to come up. I mean, who could? And there's really nothing I can say to you right now that's going to take that away. I'm going to be honest, that's going to be with you forever. It's with me forever, it's with Rick forever. It will not go away. The only thing you can do, I guess there's several things. You can try and push it down, push it away. It will mold your life in ways that no one can expect. And all you can really do is try not to dwell too much on things that you just can't affect anymore. What happened happened, And, well, moping is not going to do anything for that. I know... I know that sounds callous. But trust me when I say it will do more harm than good in the long run.
She kind of looks down at her hands, fidgets this for a second. She goes, "What is it that you actually do? And don't start telling me about your company and all that. You know that's not what I'm asking."
I'd figured this question would come up eventually. I really hoped it wouldn't so soon. It's something, I've kept from you all of your life. It's something I kept from your mother for as long as we were together. What Rick said was true. I do protect people, just not necessarily from other people. It's really complicated, and it's very difficult to explain and not sound insane.
I saw somebody I've known my entire life put a bullet into somebody's head right next to me. Or she kind of shakes her head. And then, he's talking about Wendigos, etc. When he was in here with you. I had to look those up. Apparently some Native American legend or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that, so I don't really know what a Wendigo is. Rick kind of briefly mentioned it in passing, but yeah, you also remember that that night that something broke into the house. Yeah,
You see her physically shake and her eyes close.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bring up another bad memory, but that's what we're trying to avoid is bad memories for other people. What we do when we're trying to protect people is what I tried to protect you from. At the time, I was, well, just a few seconds late. And that's what happens when I'm a few seconds late. And as for your Uncle Rick's behavior, when you've been in the life long enough, you get really, really calloused about things that would normally, well, put people in your state. A state of mental numbness becomes, well, a Tuesday to other people with this callous.
And what does that have to do with... And she kind of reaches into her pocket and pulls up the crumpled invitation, envelope and all. The envelope is very plain. All it has is the sigil of the crow, raven, corvid. You've never looked that much into it to know what type of bird it is.
It's bird.
But of the Ashwood Abbey's symbol, and then as you kind of open it and look at it, it's a letter cordially inviting you to a tasting extravaganza essentially.
Hmm. And where did you get this?
It was at your bedside.
Kind of puts his fingers to his nose. They just left it on the table.
She kind of shrugs. I mean, it's not really the nurse's job to hide mail, now is it? And there is a bit of sass in that line.
Yeah. I suppose. He kind of eyes her, hearing that little bit of sass. He really wants to get her out of that mental funk. So hearing that sass that's positive. In his mind, anyway. Look, Chloe, I know you're clever. You're cleverer than me. You're too clever for your own good, and you're stubborn. You get that from your mother too. She asked me questions as well. This, and he holds up the envelope. This was meant for me. My eyes only, personal invitation. What made you think that you would be able to just walk in?
She kind of pauses. I hoped that they would just accept the letter as is and accept me as a substitute. But as she pauses for a moment, you're getting away from my question.
Yes, you're right. What was the question again, Storyteller?
What is she?
What is my job?
Yeah, that's kind of. Yeah. Well, also, when she pulled out the letter, she was indicating what is this organization.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, well... It's exceedingly difficult to do these kind of things alone. And from, my past, my upbringing, certain contacts were made even before I was aware of it by, my father, your grandpa. And after his passing, it kind of got thrown onto me in a way that I really don't want thrown onto you. That's
a whole lot of a not an answer, Dad.
Yes, I know. It's okay. They're a group of special individuals with certain connections. They do try to protect people for the most part, but at the same time, they're also in it for themselves. It's very political and not all my cup of tea, as they say here. It's a place where those with the right connections and willpower can get together to try and make your lives like yours stay as they are. Kids going to school, people going to work, and not have to worry about the things that go bump in the night.
She kind of sighs and gets ready to say something, but we're gonna go ahead and jump over to Cecil. Cecil, you are still on the run?
I mean, for a little ways. He's not trying to drive Maya to exhaustion, but he wants to make sure that they are safely away from something that both of them made quite mad.
Well, probably you wouldn't get quite as far as you wanted, because Maya is gonna kind of attempt to pull you into the nearest alleyway as soon as she can, because she honestly she's done. she's out of breath. As soon as you stop and let her, she like doubles over completely, hands on knees. You know, she's gasping. Her hair's matted to her head, you know, with the sweat, and she kind of is looking up at you like, explain yourself, like, why am I dying all of a sudden because of this?
Your mark is a creature who is connected to some very powerful people, and not only can he put the hurt on, probably very well put the hurt on both of us at the same time, but he also can put things in motion against both of us because of his connections.
He kind of continues to pant a little bit. So, what you're saying is he's something that you would take out. So, why is he walking the streets?
Because I can't do it alone. And others are trying to use him.
She kind of gives you that look of where she's blinking, as if maybe blinking her eyes will make what she heard make more sense.
They're trying to turn him into an ally.
I thought that was kind of completely against what you did.
Yes. It is. And it's also not my decision.
What would your decision be? I mean, if they're not willing to help you, I mean, I'm not much, but I'm sure I could find some way to help you.
So, I know you probably look up to me at least a little bit, but I'm not the muscle of the group. I chase, I find out, I point the muscle in the right direction. I, with your help, probably can't do anything against this guy.
That's why you lead into a trap. We get the police involved. I know.
No, we won't.
She kind of raises an eyebrow at the chuckle that you.
If we tried to get regular authorities involved, more than likely they would all just die. And if they didn't, we are now dealing with the panic that the knowledge of the existence of this kind of a creature would cause. And who knows where all of those ripples would stop. And it's very likely that some of those ripples would get reflected back onto us, because if we're the ones bringing the police in, we are who they are going to look for.
She kind of pauses and nods her head as she kind of thinks. I mean, if your group's not willing to move, aren't there other groups?
Yes. But trying to involve others like that is not, it's not simple and it's not safe.
You're all on the same side, aren't you?
So, you know how in movies that have different levels of cops in it, or it's like a local cop, and then a state cop, and then a federal cop, and they're all trying to investigate the same crime, and they all seem to hate each other, and they don't want to work together, and they try to sabotage each other because each one of them wants the prestige from solving the case? It's kind of like that, and with a lot less mutual respect than even it's
Essentially, everybody in that line of work is a douchebag, is what I'm getting at, or is what I'm hearing here.
not everyone, but many of those that I have been forced to spend time around very much are, yes.
I mean, okay, so you're worried about getting cops involved. And she pauses for a second. Then let's go to the Vatican. I'm sure the Catholic Church has some sort of elite unit.
They probably do, but no one's going to tell you about them. You can go to the Vatican and you can say, I've found something that needs your attention, that you need to, I need your help taking care of it, and they're going to say, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I mean, you don't know anybody? Yeah. I feel like there's got to be somebody like in your contact list. There's got to be like a directory, right? Like you guys don't operate completely off the radar.
No, there is no directory on purpose, because directories lead to connections, which leads to whole groups falling. If one gets compromised, the whole thing gets compromised.
She kind of pauses. Then what stops yours from being compromised?
What do you mean?
Well, from what I understand and what I've looked into, yeah, you guys are. She kind of pauses and thinks about her words very carefully. From what I understand, you guys are part of a country club established way back in 1855. It has some very forward-facing stuff. It's a legitimate country club, from what I can see. You know, they won't let me anywhere near, the front door, but, I could still do research and the like. They have ledgers.
Yes, there are lists of members of the country club, but there is no directory of who does what.
So what are we gonna do? Just let this thing walk?
Knowing what I know, having seen what I've seen, and dealt with what I've dealt with, and having been put in the hospital more than once, without a motivated, united well-equipped group, you can't do anything about it. And so when this group gets motivated and gets on track and unites and decides to act, we're very effective. If all of those things don't align, it's so in this case, it's going to walk, because the other option is to just die.
But if you let it walk, won't somebody else die? I mean, that's what these things do, right? That's why... Well, and she kind of looks at you. That is why you're after them, right?
Yes. Yes. And, people that I'm with do good work, but not necessarily for the right reasons. And because they're not doing it for the reasons that I'm doing it for, sometimes they choose not to do the good work. And there's nothing I can do about that.
So, where do we go from here? She's
From here,
at this point, she's kind of stood back up. Her hands are still kind of behind her head, and she's still breathing kind of heavily, but she has mostly recovered.
from here, you're going to ditch everything that you picked off of that guy except the cash. And you're also going to make sure that you stay in a place that doesn't have insects in it.
I mean, there's a cockroach probably within 2 feet of us right now.
Yeah. Which means you need to go stay in a very clean hotel or a nice penthouse somewhere. And today. Not yours.
I mean, do you have any suggestions? Like, she kind of gestures at herself, and she's wearing, you know, your typical urban streetwear. That's a little hard for me.
I'll book one for you, and you need to lay low, because this thing is going to be looking for you now, and these kinds of things are very, very good at looking for people they're interested in finding.
I would think he might be more interested in you because you landed on him.
Yes, and he will use you to get to me.
She kind of scratches her head. All right, make your phone call and give me the address. I'll head there.
And let's walk while we do so.
She kind of nods, and you guys make your way towards whatever penthouse you're able to book on short notice like that.
Have the money.
Vanessa and Rick. How soon do we come back to you? After your first drink or after several drinks?
Yeah, imagine like a drink or two. Come back in, and Rick's got one of these like really nice like flavor infused like skinny cigars. His beer is still sitting untouched next to him, and there's like a couple of rocks glasses with a bottle nearby. He says, "So how long ago did the memory thing happen?"
I think it was when we were hunting that ghost thing, the Japanese lands. That's when I kind of first like started like realizing something was started remembering some stuff. But as like maybe like a couple of years ago, like that's when I like realized I couldn't remember crap.
Imagine like some guy probably talking to somebody. They're like walking and talking and like stop like right next to like the table we're on. Kind of backs up to the table and Rick like shoves him in the small of the back. It's like, get out of here! Get off my freaking table, asshole! I don't know if he responds or not. Rick doesn't care. Turns right back to Vanessa.
All I know is that I woke up in the dumpster at the back of a McDonald's.
Ooh, I am gonna do something.
And Rick's like, he probably shed his jumpsuit, so he's not in the way he normally dresses when he's in here. He's probably like, probably got like the Mark Cuban vibe going, like the t-shirt, jeans, and sneaks, but they're all obviously very expensive, kind of deal. So he doesn't look like he belongs.
Rick,
Yeah.
you're gonna take a single point of lethal damage as the guy that you just pushed used the momentum, grabbed a glass pitcher off of the table, swung it, and smacked you, shattering it on the back of your head.
All right, where do I put that in my health bar?
That is an X.
Very left.
Click a box twice on the left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right as you finish your sentence, Vanessa, you see it coming mid-sentence. You probably don't say anything.
Is it coming at me?
No,
Or,
it's
In the head, probably.
yeah, it's hitting Rick in the back of the head, but you're in full view of this guy grabbing it, swinging.
I see this happen, and I just take a swing of my beer as I just watch this thing collide with the back of his head.
It shatters.
Yeah.
And the simple fact of Rick getting hit lifts her mood up a little bit.
Yeah, Rick just stands up and draws and puts a gun in this guy's forehead. Doesn't pull the trigger. Blood like running down his head, and says, "I told you to get the hell away from my table." And then shoots like a whistle to the bartender, who knows that Rick is like a backroom member.
He raises his hands, and I'm gonna do a fortune roll here. I'm doing a fortune roll here. Is this guy gonna be incredibly stupid?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna, like, while he's like puzzling it over, I'm gonna look at Vanessa and just go, "Do what you want here, really.
Oh, you want me to do something?
Whatever. Do what you want."
I just grab another beer.
In a very thick.
She's a bit dejected now that she's had to
Yeah.
face her own trauma, and she's strangely not as violent as she is known for.
And something she might pick up on is not talking to you, but when he stands up and talks to the other guy, he picks up a very heavy, thick, like American Southern accent.
Thank you.
Like,
Actually,
it
I
goes
was gonna
from,
say
like,
something about that.
It goes from a very neutral, like that kind of like, you know, how the person sounds when they've lived in a lot of different places and their accent's kind of leveled, to a much more Southern drawl when he talks to this guy.
A very, very Welsh accent comes out of this guy, and he goes, "Of course it'd be American to pull a gun. Bunch of pussies."
Now take that, Rick.
Oh, Rick's arrogant. What do I do?
You are not in the Abbey.
No, I'm not. But I'm in the next best thing to getting away with what I want to do. Rick's gonna look at him and point down at the ground and shoot him in the foot. It's gonna be loud, but again, I have a silencer.
As everybody in that bar is still gonna hear the gunshot.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I won't shoot him in the foot. I'll shoot the floor, like right to the side of his foot. I'll point at it and I just go pop down the floor next to his foot, and then put it back up.
He takes a step back, and he ends up leaving eventually. But of course, now you've attracted the entire bar's attention, discharging a firearm like that. Bartender's just sitting there,
Here.
fake washing a glass, just, more watching than anything.
Sit back down. Put it back up. And this is probably the first time you've ever seen Rick take a drink. He'll pour like one finger of whiskey into his rocks glass and shoot it and put it back down and then go back to his water. So around the ghost, huh?
Yeah. I was looking for a place for the whole exorcism thing. That address just, I don't know, spoke to me. I haven't had to think about this stuff in a long while.
How bad do you want to know?
I don't know. Like, how would you like it if, like, half your life you can't suddenly remember?
No, I wouldn't.
Like, I know that I have friends out there that I don't know anymore because I forgot them. Like, I don't know, like...
So there's these studies that I had read about on some mice, and then I had them conducted on some things that we caught and some people, and some of the things that we deal with can suppress memories, can make you forget things. And so some of my labs have at times looked into ways to like draw those memories back out. It's very experimental, but if we give you the right drugs and we, shock you in the right ways, we've had some success in pulling up memories.
I don't know, man. I think if I want to find this stuff out, I gotta figure out what happened in Ireland. Maybe, like, if that's a dead end, I might think about it again, but, like, I'd rather... I'd rather...
You wanna go to Ireland?
Yeah, like, I went there before. Apparently, like, it was involving this. Like, I feel if I chase these memories, I'm gonna find something.
No, I'm saying, do you want to go to Ireland?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I can call the pilot.
I can find my own way there. You don't have to.
Fresh leads. We can go spend a day or two in Ireland.
Where specifically did these tickets actually go?
They went to the Dublin airport.
Dublin Air. Okay.
So honestly, from there, it could just have been anywhere.
Be anywhere, yeah.
Also makes
if you
sense.
really want to whip out your helicopter, I guess, but it's no trouble. You don't have to bother yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's gonna impress anybody, so whatever. But maybe we take everything, all the paperwork, back to the penthouse, scan everything back in, load it up, and I do some digging on these names and faces.
Do you think you can find something?
Maybe. I mean, if they've gone through the airport, they've gone through security cameras, they've gone through, they've probably rolled through customs in other countries. If they're hunting monsters and running with you, they probably bounced in and out of the UK, maybe America and back. There's, not everybody is as good at hiding their trail as some of us are, and some of us are very good at finding hidden trails. So every time you walk through customs, walk through an airport, you're documented, you're labeled, you're stuck in a database somewhere. Maybe I can at least get you a lead you can go look at, if you want me to check into it.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great.
Yeah, I can do that for you, Vanessa. You have to promise one thing, though.
What?
Don't bring any more underage girls to my penthouse.
Okay, no underage girls to your penthouse. I got it.
Cool, we're good. I'll check into it. And as he like pours them both another finger of whiskey. And then I imagine like if this was like a movie shot, this is where like the audio would kind of fade out and show them kind of talking, and then kind of fade out, you know, and kind of move on as they kind of continue just kind of hanging out for the night and bonding.
Bonding. Oh, what an experience! Getting close to another human being.
Not without alcohol.
Especially when that one human being is Rick.
Who would have thought? I thought I'd be having this conversation with Nora.
Hey, without Nora here, I have to make the anti-Rick jokes. I apologize.
Nora's not the one with a massive amount of dice and persuasion skills.
So, with that, probably another couple of days goes by, so subtract any damage that might have been healed over that time.
Would my head wound? I don't know what these heal rates are.
It'd take 2 days for the head wound to go away.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I said
Yeah,
a couple of days, so...
Cool.
Head
Yeah,
wounds
without
can-
any medical treatment, it's 2 days per lethal, so good to go.
Yeah, I don't think Rick would get it treated. I don't think he'd go anywhere for it.
Not much they could do.
Yeah.
Give you some tape.
Yeah, he may have like one of those rich people house call doctors come in and just like change the bandage once a day so he doesn't have to deal with it.
So, speaking of that, Nathan, how are your wounds feeling?
How long has it been now?
It's been a couple of days.
So that would, in a hospital, it's professional care.
Yes.
Yeah, so downgrades the lethal to bashing first.
How
And
many?
It only does that once a day. Not once a day, once every wound per day.
Once every...
What?
Phrase that a bit better.
What
Once...
am I saying?
What?
With
Day a lethal downgrades to bashing with professional medical care.
yes,
Yes.
one lethal
Thank-
per day in the hands of professional medical
Yeah.
care.
Okay, so,
So
two
pretty
lethal
much you're healing
down.
1 lethal a day in a hospital.
and since bashing is
Yeah.
Like
bashing,
15 minutes.
that'll,
15 minutes.
15 minutes, yeah.
so I'll just tick those completely off then.
And
I'm only at a -1 penalty now.
Which means...
Activated did you have?
I had 3. That cleared off at the start of this session.
If you had 3, then those should be
Yeah, he's clear now.
Those downgraded at the start of the session, I should say.
No, they'd go away completely.
Oh,
They don't downgrade. It
Right.
healed.
It doesn't matter. He's clear now.
am I clear enough? I could probably walk out.
Yeah, you're up and walking, which obviously I'm assuming the group is there to see you up and moving again.
I could
Yay.
walk, you guys.
However, any sort of strenuous activity, anybody that's been there for his physical therapy would know. Nathan, to an extent, is somewhat crippled. Any sort of extreme physical activity has pretty much ever since he started the physical therapy causes him such immense pain that sometimes he just falls to the ground and writhes.
Ooh, that there, that hurts.
Rick's gonna do that thing where it's like there is no pity, sorrow, or sympathy shown because he feels like Nathan probably doesn't want it. So he's just gonna act like this is normal. Like this isn't a new thing. It's like if Nathan needs help, he offers a hand. If Nathan is appearing to make progress, he doesn't offer help because Nathan's got it, whether it hurts or not. And he's gonna do like that, like, you know, that kind of thing. Like, make sure Nathan knows he's there, but not try to do so much or try to help too much that it feels like pity or sympathy.
I'm fine. Just give me some drugs.
Yeah, right? Drugs.
Give me painkillers. I'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Nathan's new best friend is
develop
Vanessa.
A horrible addiction.
Well, mine are legit prescription for a legit medical condition.
Nathan's new best friend is an addiction condition.
Well, only if I overdo it.
But-
When we all show up to like pull Nathan out, Rick will have like a bandage over one temple with like a wrap to keep it on for like on the side of his head.
What, you copying me?
Now yours is on the other side and the inside.
Well, I mean,
you get out of the hospital doesn't mean you get all the attention, Nathan.
doesn't it? Doesn't it though?
Fine.
Cecil knows.
Tack's like, pull off, no helicopter.
Especially not at the hospital.
You know, I learn slow, but I do learn.
Well, it just feels great not to be laying down all day. I was getting antsy in there.
You don't want bed sores, old man.
No, I'm not old.
Chloe kind
I'm only
of
35.
Face it.
speaks up and goes, "Yeah, I get that feeling too. I got that feeling when I was here for doing my physical therapy."
Right? It's like, it's the smell. It smells like, like I don't want to be here.
Rick reaches into like his messenger bag and pulls out one of those nice imported Cokes and pops it and offers it to Chloe.
Again, still not gonna make eye contact.
He's just gonna hold it out until she takes it.
Somebody else is gonna have to take it.
He just keeps holding it.
Nathan's gonna take it. Oh, you brought me a Mexican Coke. Nice.
Yeah.
You sure, sweetie?
She
I'm gonna
nods.
drink it. I'm gonna drink it. Your loss. Oh, it's the best Coke ever.
This brought to you by no.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Cola. This is the best cola.
Best pop I've ever had. Yeah, so we'll get Nathan back, and I guess we can all.
Back where? Shiny new clubhouse?
Yeah, let's
we
go
can-
pick up the clubhouse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a stop beforehand. I'll meet you guys there.
All right. We're gonna need to change the guard too, Nathan.
Oh yeah, because the old one sucked.
The old
Yeah,
one's
and
dead.
we're like down a position on one.
More importantly, we want loyal guards, not guards loyal to them.
Yeah, everybody's fired.
Oh wait, so they actually gave us. You guys were serious.
No, that was real. Yeah.
Oh,
Right after the thing, now it's ours.
Speaking of that, how's Cecil taking that bit of information? Just so we don't gloss over that.
Which one?
Being given an entire clubhouse.
Doesn't really feel like it's his. Like, sure, they gave it to the cell and he's part of the cell, but like he doesn't want it. And that's probably the biggest piece of why he doesn't feel like it's his, but he's it'll be his kind of by extension, but he's not really gonna make it his home, or at least that's how he sees it.
Okay.
Cecil
Continue.
acting any different with Rick?
What's that?
I said, is Cecil acting any different with Rick for now? Or is he sitting on that still? Because we were all just like chilling in the hospital room. You weren't there at the dinner. We were all just chilling at the hospital room, and it was like, oh yeah, Rick shot a guy in the floor of the Abbey Clubhouse, and they gave it to us. And like, then the conversation moved, and then we all left and went different ways. And now we're back together 2 days later, and Rick's got a head wound.
I mean, stranger things have happened, and more violent things have happened, and I don't know. This is he. Cecil would be not trying to show any displeasure with anybody, because like, I need you all to have my back, so it kind of doesn't matter. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nathan,
Mm.
where are you stopping off at?
He's going to a shop to pick up a cane and a top hat.
Oh my gosh.
Next thing you're gonna be wearing a monocle.
Yeah, he'll pick up a monocle too.
Putting on the Ritz.
He walks.
Because, you know, with back pain, you might need a cane, so he's just hold the cane, be fancy about it.
Cane, and it has to be prettier than Victor's.
Well, that's a special order. This is kind of temporary.
He comes walking out with a monocle, top hat, and a cane as he comes out of the store.
Yeah.
Big fur jacket.
You know, if I'm gonna be, you know, the cripple, I might as well look, you know, fancy about it.
You know what, buddy? You've earned it. Maybe talk to Victor, see if he can get you a nicer cane, though.
Yeah, this one's kind of used, but, you know, I'll get one later. Yeah, Victor's got a nice one, doesn't he?
Yeah. With a sword in it.
Does he really? I never saw him use it.
Yeah, you did. He cut up the vampire with it in the sewers, remember?
It was dark.
He was chaotic as dark. Yeah, he cut the thing up. Yeah.
As you guys are driving, you notice a road closure. It has a sign that states, you know, the standard, like, detour this way.
Just to be clear, Cecil is driving before anything happens.
Oh, and another thing, is Chloe with us?
Probably not. You would have dropped her off.
Okay.
I'm
We're
guessing.
headed to the clubhouse, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which road is this?
This would be... You're gonna actually make me name a road, aren't you?
I don't.
You
I
want
don't
full
need the
navigation?
name. I need the significance of it. Like, is this a road that borders the clubhouse? Is this the typical road that we would take to
Yes.
get to the clubhouse? Okay.
The typical road you would take to the clubhouse.
You alright? I mean,
Um,
construction work, Cecil. You fine?
is there behind the sign? Is there obvious construction work that we can see, or does it appear to just be the sign?
At this point, it just appears to be the sign. You obviously can't tell further down the road.
Is it, how thoroughly blocked off is the road?
It obviously has room in between the signs for, like, larger than normal vehicles to get through. So, like, a crane or something might, well, probably not a crane, but, you know, like a utility vehicle of van, truck could fit through, yeah.
Is this the road to the clubhouse, or is it just like we happen to put it on the way?
If you want, like, a specific name, it's gonna be, I guess you would call it a highway here, B3890, near Virginia Water.
But it's the primary route that we would take from downtown to the clubhouse.
Yes.
Cecil's gonna go through those signs.
Ooh.
Cecil, what are you doing?
Following my gut.
We're not gonna like sink into like wet concrete, are we?
It's his car. I don't care.
Yeah, but I gotta walk through it.
They don't put concrete on the road, Nathan.
What do you think's under the asphalt?
Gravel.
Gravel?
I don't know. I don't build roads.
All right. Gut. Cool. We're doing that then. And Rick will, like, pull his pistol, drop the mag, double check it, lock, make sure it's locked and loaded, and be like, all right, gut, got it, checked.
You won't need that because I went. Because I took this route. You won't need that.
We'll find out.
After about, I'd want to say, what, 30 feet or so. Basically, let's just say you were on Sandhills Lane when it turned into B3890, just after its intersection with Trump's Green Road. It was a little past that the blockade was. You're probably reaching the Wellington Avenue intersection when I need a perception check.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
2 successes.
Okay, so Vanessa
Not
sees
chance anymore. 3.
2. Did you? Yeah, you meant to have 9 again, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trained observer.
So
Normal. 1 success.
all of you see it before anything else can be done. It looks like, Rook, your instinct, Cecil, your instinct, I should say, was right and wrong. The road ends into a bunch of gravel, like it's been torn up. You can see the construction equipment. However, in the distance, you can see 4 to 5 other people running towards the car from where the detour would have had you go. And I'm gonna do something I've wanted to do for so long.
Oh no?
Uh-oh.
This is a negative.
Before you do anything,
You don't get to do it.
before you do anything, Cecil has the crack driver merit. And part of the crack driver merit says that any attempts to disable his vehicle suffer his composure as a penalty, which is 3 dice. Just, I don't know what it is that you're intending, but if they're going to try to disable the vehicle, they suffer a dice penalty.
Okay. Oh, I have that on chance.
That's fine.
Go with that.
One of them's an 8. I'll go ahead and re-roll though. One success. You see a puff of smoke, and one of the guys goes flying. And it isn't too much. It's specifically, you have one guy in front of another, and you see the guy behind him fly backwards. As you see a trail of smoke whistling through the air.
So,
It gets a little bit closer, and specifically the 2 military men. You know an RPG when you see one.
I know an RPG when I see one. Better turn.
And
That's
we're
gonna
gonna
say-
cut here. So, Nathan, how's Nathan feeling right now?
At this immediate moment? Yeah, very, very panic. He just got out of the hospital. He doesn't want to go right back in.
go to the hospital and somebody's shooting an RPG at him.
God wants me dead.
What car are you driving also? I feel like this is a very appropriate question.
This will be...
Are you driving the bulletproof one? Please say yes.
Bulletproof
This
is not
is
bulletproof.
Bulletproof car's not going to help against an RPG.
No, the BMW Alpina B7 X-Drive. So this is, it's not quite as all-terrain as the G-Class, but it's a very off-road capable sedan. And yeah, it doesn't have anti-RPG stuff on it, but...
Yeah, well, I even with that one success, I don't think it's hitting you, so. But We'll get
Yeah,
to
you'll
that.
get a maneuver. You'll get a maneuver roll. They go in a straight line, and they're not super fast.
Nah.
So,
Hoot.
Yeah, I'm having fun. Got Nathan out of the hospital, which is nice, so that I can finally, get back into my actual character. Even though, half this session was, him laying in bed. That's fine, and it happens. Happened to Rook, it happened to me. It's gonna happen to someone else too, I'm sure.
I'm gonna stay on my feet forever.
You'll be standing in the hospital then. So yeah, another RP heavy session, which is fine. So we got some interesting story hooks out of it. So I'm looking forward to see where these lead, and I can already see where that RPG is leading.
you back to the hospital?
Huh?
More hospital scenes.
More hospital, yes.
Cecil.
Well, I mean, so first he's saving the life of his touchstone Maya and trying to prevent her from getting tracked down and murdered / killed / eaten, who knows, and now he's got an RPG flying at him. Which, all in fairness, I told you to hurt him more.
Didn't expect an RPG, I'm sure.
Yeah. He, well, that dose of adrenaline just hit, so, we're he's okay until he's not.
How you
is life.
feeling, Rook?
I'm great. I've been looking forward to this game, and it's really good to be here. And yes, all is well.
All is well. So, I guess Vanessa.
Yeah, she was thinking things are probably getting a bit boring again. It generally happens. We hunt something and for a few weeks nothing happens. People are looking at wounds. But now there's an RPG in the mix, and suddenly she's a lot more excited and paying attention.
I'm assuming that kind of goes for you too, Grog.
Yeah. She's a woman of action. And yeah, I'm having a good time. I enjoyed learning about. Apparently, I went to Ireland or something, and apparently, maybe I had friends. I don't know what that's like, but I
Lies.
think it sounds pretty good.
Rick.
Um,
Oh, sorry.
I'm good. Just give me a thumbs up.
Rick.
Oh, Rick's good. The moment of clarity that comes with the impending combat. It just everything just went pure black and white. Yeah, the shades of gray all just vanished about a half of a second ago. It's good to be home. Prior to that, you try to take a girl out and let her have a nice bar fight like she likes, and then she just watches it happen. Like,
A little upset.
I thought that punching some rando's face in would make you feel better. It didn't. So that's sad. But yeah, I got to take a cellmate to the touchstone. Somebody saw Rick as not the Rick that everybody normally sees him. It was Vanessa, so I don't know who's ever going to find out about it. But but yeah, so some people in the cell got to find a little bit more about Rick. See that there's a little more depth there than just the rich asshole. That there's a little bit there's some layers underneath, and yeah.
Who gets have layers?
Yeah. They're like an onion, man. You cry every time you put a new one.
And how are you doing?
I'm great. I love this game.
And I guess we're all gonna find out what happens when you fire an RPG at at a cell. And also when one of your own cell members gets hit by the back blast, which is just hilarious to me. That had to happen.
Amateurs.
Hell yeah.
We will see
yeah.
everybody next week.
Hey.
Bye.